My buddy copy and paste sent me this in a DM over here on Twitter, and I wanted to get the message out in tonight's video so you can be prepared. He says John Berta will be interviewed by Al from Boston 617 tomorrow. Don't miss it. And here's his page, Al from Boston 617 on Twitter. So make sure you go follow him. Make sure you go follow WD Morgan 2 and follow me, Terry Z247. And if he gets the time out there, I will put that, guys, on there. I want to say thank you to everyone that's followed me. We are approaching 5,000 followers here on Twitter. I will do my best to make sure that we get that time and date, and we'll come out with official post. And hopefully John may come out with something as well on that. What's going on, Meta fam? We got a lot of information in today's video. First, with the breaking news, Charles Payne posted, Sam Bankman-Fried arrested in the Bahamas the day before appearing before Congress. Reports say U.S. is likely to request extradition. Timing is so odd. Let's get him on U.S. soil and stop playing games. Guys, this is huge for retail investors that, someone like this here that has lost tons of money for retail investors, and now he's going to be appearing in front of court. And I know Uncle Smokey right now is currently doing a live stream with the plaintiff that just filed this case here, Rosa, and KCAP here posted it's filed, working on posting the entire PDF filed by an investor attorney out of Florida. Currently, I know Uncle Smokey's doing a live stream with her. That is pretty awesome. I'll have to go check that out later. All right, guys, we're getting some crazy exposure here, as you see, with MMTLP. That's right. We got the official Wall Street bets. Here it says, Dear FINRA, please stay in your lane. It's up to Robinhood to disable the buy button, not yours. Hashtag MMTLP. Guys, that is what we want to see. The Wall Street Bets page here on Twitter has 571,000 followers. As you can see, 648 likes, 224 retweets. We're getting the message out. All right, so I broke this. Curtis here has this broken down in two parts because you got to watch the copyright with Fox and all that. So we are going to watch this first clip here of John Berta if you haven't seen it yet. And we're going to pause and give my thoughts and opinion of what we see and hear off of this clip.
Retail investors going after the Financial Industry Authority, FINRA, for halting shares in a preferred stock of Meta Metals. And so we want to get into what happened. Why is this such a big deal? Here to help us out is former Torchlight Energy CEO John Berta, whose company was taken over, if you will, or at least the symbol was by Meta Metals. And John, you and I spoke earlier on the phone. It's a tough one to hash out in just 3.5, 4 minutes, but let's get to the crux of the issue here. Explain what happened for the audience who may not know what's going on.
Sure. Well, Charles, thank you for having me on, and I appreciate you giving us this time. Back in June of 2021, we concluded a merger with METATERRY, and as part of the business arrangement for that transaction, we were to issue a Series A preferred share that was to be non-tradable for all of our Torchlight shareholders of record on the dividend date, on the record date.
First of all, guys, this is huge because we got MetaMaterials getting broadcasted, on Fox Business, Charles Payne. So not only is this great for the movement that we're doing, and not only is this great for MMTLP, but this is huge for just MMAT, MetaMaterials. And John Berta, if you notice there on his chest, on his shirt there, he has a Meta pin. So if you watch the video, you can zoom in on it. He has a Meta pin. So pretty cool there.
And we closed that transaction and issued 165 million shares to those shareholders of record. And we went about closing the transaction, and Meta changed the...
And how about that? Seeing MMTLP on primetime Fox Business News, man. Like, wow. Who would ever thought that MMTLP be on the big stage? That's crazy to see. Pretty cool, actually, to see it on there.
Their ticker symbol to MMAT, and now they're on the NASDAQ and going about their business. Fast forward about 4 months, and after kind of doing some investigation on whether or not the entire short positions were closed out, we found out that that truly didn't happen. And then two market makers got together, went to FINRA, went to OTC Markets, and started trading the Series A preferred as MMTLP, or MetaMaterials Preferred. And they did so with fraudulent information on OTC Markets, And when I found out about it personally, because they were using my information, I called OTC Markets and was advised at that time that FINRA approved it. Two market makers got together and listed it without company input and without the issuer knowing. And they went ahead and allowed it and decided at that point they were going to do nothing. And so that's
John, this was not the company had nothing to do with this. Two market makers said, hey, we want this to trade. FINRA said, okay, we'll trade.
Okay, so that first part there was a good history, a good background of how all this started with MMTLP. We'll go to the second part here in a few moments. All right, guys, we're getting more exposure here. We got Genevieve Rock-Dector, a CFA. Guys, she has over 230,000 followers. This is what I'm talking about, guys. People like this that has huge platforms is getting the message out there, guys. She has posts out here, and she says, short sellers have saved billions in potential losses. If MMTLP actually traded around 30, short sellers could have lost up to 200 million, and that's not counting shorts who closed out already or MMAT shorts. Total losses for short sellers could have been in the billions. Guys, when I said the video's future men of millionaires, it was possible. And FINRA screwed us. FINRA fraud. Guys, it probably wouldn't have took, but a couple thousand, maybe 5,000, 10,000 shares. You could have been a meta millionaire, literally, guys. And right here is the proof. Like, literally. Billions of dollars here stolen from retail investors again. She has this post up here, too. Last week, FINRA halted trading in the stock just before the spinoff. Hashtag FINRA fraud. And I love that she is using the hashtag FINRA fraud. Huge props to her. Started trending and short sellers were saved from billions in losses. Here's what happened. As the price has collapsed over the last couple of weeks, the number of shares shorted has plummeted as short sellers have been closing out other trades at lower prices because they, illegally did what they had to do. Says here, what happens next? Holders MMTLP will receive their new shares. MMTLP ticker will disappear, and we'll never know how MMTLP would have traded if the halt didn't happen. I agree, but I got to say thank you here for spreading the message out there. That's what this is about, guys. We want to get this out there. We want people to understand what's going on, how corrupt the market is, how the markets are rigged, and the FINRA fraud is trend. It needs to keep trending. Absolutely, it does. All right. Here's part 2 of John Berta on Charles Payne making money.
And
so
John, this was not the company had nothing to do with this. Two market makers said, hey, we want this to trade. FINRA said, okay, we'll trade. Let's talk about the synthetic shares of the shorting that goes on and how this happens over and over again. Shorting that for many people, it's never, it's sort of a way that these firms have been able to abuse smaller companies, smaller listed companies.
Yes, 100%. Thanks for bringing that up. So smaller companies like Torchlight and other companies that are out there in the small cap space that need to consistently raise capital to further their business plans are the targets of basically hedge funds and shorters that short ahead of a potential offering or short just to create pressure in the market so that when a company has to go to the market to raise money, they're getting their stock at a cheaper price. And the only way for a synthetic or a naked short to cover is if the company actually issues real shares, because otherwise they're just sitting in a naked short that they haven't borrowed and they have not done everything the proper way. So that's very pervasive in small cap stocks and companies in particular that need to raise capital throughout their lifespan.
I got less than.
And that's very true, and it's a shame. I mean, I know there's people saying that there is markets out there that doesn't even allow shorting. I would love that. I would love that to happen. I think it's totally, and the thing is, if you're going to allow this stuff, and as you know, if you're a short, there is infinite, risk. Your loss is infinite. You could lose as much as that baby goes up. We've seen it happen with GME. Took away the buy button, killed all the momentum, scared everyone. They ripped all the retail investors off. Same thing with AMC, and now we're seeing it here with MMTLP. It's just, even when retail beats the algos, the hedge funds, the market makers, then they get, FINRA to step in. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. It never fails with these guys.
30 seconds. People on Twitter are saying, like, other firms are now saying they won't allow any trading in the stock. I mean, I'm not sure what the goal was with these two firms, I think Canaccord and another. What's going to happen from here, John?
We really don't know what's going to happen from here. FINRA halted the stock on the last 2 trading days when the only trading that could have gone on was buy to cover. And quite frankly, if there was a real problem, if there was no problem with the short position, according to OTC Markets, there's only 6.5 million shares short. Well, if that's a problem, they could have worked that out in 2 days.
Yeah.
But they decided not to do that. They halted the stock, and now, as you know, it's up for us to continue the pressure on that.
All right, we'll keep the pressure going and keep us informed. I wish we had more time, and it is complicated, but I'm glad you came on to share.
All right. Moving forward here, more exposure, guys. We got Sharmila here, 32,000 followers. She's a businesswoman, thriving realtor, savvy day trader. She posted here about MMTLP as well, man. That's what I'm talking about. Has a picture here. Was that a Wonder Woman? Nice. The Wonder Woman picture. Nice. But yeah, MMTLP is on the news for a trade halt for fraud. Let me make it very clear. If Wall Street executives and companies that govern the markets are doing fraudulent activities on the OTC stocks, you might also end up on the news too. Retail traders, investors matter. Man, agree 100%. We do. Because if we all decide to pack our bags and leave, they're not going to make no money. They have no one. They're not going to make no money. If we all leave, they're not making no money. All right. Thank you again for sharing that. So Metamaterial News retweeted one of the videos here of John Berta on making money at Charles Payne. It says naked shorting. The former CEO John Berta exposes naked shorting by trapping them through the preferred Series A stock. Market makers illegally had it traded through FINRA, and now FINRA halts trading prior to the preferred stock record dates. John Berta just wanted to clarify this. We did not intend to trap them using the preferred share, but it ended up being a coincidence because they traded it. We used the preferred to isolate the value of the oil and gas assets for Torch OGs. They made this a problem, not us. Agreed. Agreed. They did this. Now they have to freaking pay. We got this post out here from Richard Huffman and says, spoke to a House committee on financial services about 10 minutes ago. Now they all know the details. Told them if House does not take action, I will publicize that. Guys, it's getting, stuff's going to be out there. I mean, you're starting to see people getting fed up with this, and people's going lawsuits. People's going to go to their congressmen, congresswomen, and stuff's going to be happening, man. It's going to be interesting. Now, the first brokerage here that I see that has an update so far on MMTLP, thank you, Sandra, for sending me this. And it says here, a corporate action has affected your account. We'll zoom in here. On December 13th, Metamaterials preferred MMTLP performed a 1-for-1 merger to NextBridge Hydrocarbons. This means your shares of MMTLP were removed, and now you have shares of NextBridge Hydrocarbons. The shares will be labeled MMTZZZ in your app since they don't have an official ticker symbol. NextBridge Hydrocarbons is not expected to trade in the market after the merger. If the shares do begin to trade in the market, we'll follow up with the next steps. We won't be able to accept orders until we receive additional guidance from the transfer agent, American Stock Transfer. So there you go. What a ticker they used. MMTZZZ. What the heck? So that's a very interesting thing there. I have not received currently anything from TradeStation. I have not received anything from Fidelity yet. So we will wait to see. I will put updates out there. Or if other people get the information and put it out, we'll share that information. Still haven't heard from Meta. I would love to. I thought really today we'd get some kind of press release from Metamaterials. I'm kind of shocked we didn't get anything. So I don't know what's going on here, man. Things are getting interesting. I'm just sitting back waiting. I mean, my brokerages are obligated to, like I tell you guys, they're obligated to give me NextBridge Hydrocarbon shares. That's what I expect. If I don't get those shares, because my brokerage is going to be responsible when they give me those shares, they're going to transfer them over to AST. And if they can't do that, they have to buy them off of me. And we will discuss that price. So, hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash thumbs up, drop a comment down below. And I'll catch you all next video, guys. Peace.